Heyo, and what's up, gang? Thank you once again for tuning in to the channel today. We have got some good breaking news stories coming down the wire for you tonight. We've got the first 5 competitors announced for the Mae Young Classic, including a very surprising entrant returning from retirement to take place in the tournament. We have 2 former TNA Impact superstars being taken part in a WWE Performance Center tryout over this past weekend. Also, tonight, WWE SmackDown Live presents Money in the Bank. And we're going to talk a little bit about what we think is going to go on there. Plus, today in pro wrestling history, all of that and maybe a little bit more right here and right now on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, wrestling fans, what is going on, everybody? Thank you once again for joining us right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. I am your host, Nick Nightmare, and we've got some great breaking news to go through tonight. I highlighted it at the top of the show, but we are going to start off today with Today in Pro Wrestling History. "16 years ago today marked a very momentous occasion. On Raw is War from Tampa, Florida, Diamond Dallas Page, DDP, one of my all-time favorites, made his WWF debut as the mystery man who stalked The Undertaker's wife, Sarah. Ugh, what a horrible storyline that was. Through a series of cryptic videos over the course of a bunch of weeks, it was so cool, actually, at first, until it was, to me, revealed to be Diamond Dallas Page. I did not enjoy that. I didn't think Diamond Dallas Page was the kind of guy that would stalk some guy's wife. He was just always such a happy, such a people person kind of guy. Never saw that being something he could do. I know that they made a case for him wanting to make an impact and on his arrival to the WWE, but I wasn't with it. I didn't like it. While it was the debut that he got, it was not the one that he wanted, apparently, as he revealed in a 2012 interview with the Sportstown Chicago Fight Club. He calls it his only regret in his wrestling career. Look at that. I have something in common with Diamond Dallas Page. He says, "I figured out how I was going to show up in the WWF when I got there. They're going to turn off all the lights. Everybody's going to think it's going to be Jericho or something. But it's going to go 10 seconds, 20 seconds, still no lights. Until you just hear my voice for the first time in a WWF arena saying, 'Who's the real people's champion?' The spotlight hits, and I'm in the ring, and I say, 'You're looking at him.' The place pops, yells, boos, cheers, whatever, and I do the diamond cutter sign. Bang! Big explosion. I go to the ring and start busting the Rock's chops." That would have led to a very much more interesting scenario, in my opinion. You have the WCW People's Champ versus the WWF People's Champ. Obviously, we know who would have won that. Coming out on top would have been The Rock, because he is the People's Champion. He coined the phrase. It was his thing. They definitely would have put him over on DDP, but it would have been much more memorable than the kind of thud it kind of hit the floor with upon entering. I mean, going into a feud with The Undertaker is something anybody would want to do. So, I don't think he regrets that aspect of it, but just the whole way they went about it and the whole introduction and the stalker, it was terrible. Just like they're doing now. Just lots of terrible stuff. And you can see the more things change, the more they kind of stay the same on Monday Night Raw. They have these great things that they could do, but they go with some other moments that are a little bit less than spectacular. And we'll leave it at that. And that was today in pro wrestling history. Let's move along to our next story. We'll start this one off with the news of WWE holding a tryout this week at the Performance Center, and a few interesting names were in attendance. Ex-TNA Impact Wrestling star Crazy Steve took part in the 3-day 40-person tryout and was also joined by fellow TNA alumni Cody Deaner, who I'm not very high on, by the way. He was just, I don't know. He may be fantastic, he may have potential, but if he was, picture Jamie Noble, if you remember Jamie Noble and his hillbilly character with Nydia back in the day. Picture him, but with a worse haircut and a terrible mustache. A Hogan-style mustache. It's just terrible. Little guy, too. Smaller guy. Probably would fit well in the Cruiserweight division, but I'm much more interested in the tryout for Crazy Steve. We have highlighted on this show many times since we've learned of the release of Crazy Steve from TNA that if they scooped him up, it would be fantastic. His history and his chemistry with the Hardys is off the charts. And if you take a guy like Eric Rowan, who has been rumored to be doing a clown thing on the house show circuit, which we've talked about here before as well, and you bring in Crazy Steve, something similar to what he was, obviously you'll have to change his name as to not go into a further copyright battle with fucking Impact Giant Bird Wrestling over there. But be that as it may, you put Crazy Steve with a guy like Eric Rowan, you have the same type of a dynamic as he had with the Abyss character in TNA, and you could expand on the tag team division, have them come to Raw if you must, and then they could get into it with the Hardys. It's magic, man. It works. These guys have chemistry. It will translate in the ring, and when it will get you ratings, it will put butts in the seats. People will be interested to see them wrestle, especially those of us that have seen it before. And if they start doing the broken thing at any time, because I'm waiting for it, you could start it up at any time. I'm ready. I'm geared up in my armor. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. But be that as it may, we're going to possibly get Crazy Steve and maybe Cody Deaner. Let's not hope too much against that. Crazy Steve is a former TNA Impact Tag Team Champion, having won alongside his partner Abyss in early 2016 and forming the Decay with Rosemary. The wrestler recently departed from Impact, and it was rumored that he had already signed a deal with the WWE, but that clearly is not the case. As you see, he's trying to get in right now. And boy, I wish him luck. I hope they like what he had to bring to the table, and I definitely look forward to seeing some Crazy Steve on WWE television sometime in the future. Hopefully NXT, or like I said, in a tag team on the main roster. He doesn't need NXT. He would benefit from NXT just as anybody does coming into the company. You should go through there first just to get a sense of things and how it's run to a point, and then you go to the main roster and you flounder in catering in the back and you beg for something to do on the show. But until he gets there, let's wish him the very best of luck, because trust me, Crazy Steve is a guy you're going to want to keep your eye on. Let's move on to the main piece of business of the evening, the Mae Young Classic news, and I'm very excited about the Mae Young Classic. I definitely loved the Cruiserweight Classic. I think that the exposure this will give to the women of the wrestling industry will be absolutely fantastic. I have not been exposed to great women's wrestling as a whole. I've seen some of it on Lucha Underground. We've seen Sexy Star do her thing. We've seen Ivelisse do her thing. We know Ivelisse from Tough Enough, if you're familiar with that. If you were a fan of Tough Enough, Ivelisse was a contestant. She was blonde. She hurt herself. She toughed it out through the end. And obviously she kept with it. And now she's in Lucha Underground. She's a very big piece of Lucha Underground. But that's really all we've seen in Mariposa. You know, like, so my only experience with that has been through them. And no, goons, I didn't watch Progress, and I don't watch Shimmer, and I don't watch all these other things, only because I don't know where to find them, and nor do I have the time in my day to go searching for these things. We've been through this before. But I know I could have seen all these people before. I'm going to see them now. I'm looking very much forward to seeing them now. It's going to be a fantastic show, and I cannot wait. The first 4 names that were officially confirmed for the inaugural Mae Young Classic are international standout Toni Storm, NXT superstars Lacey Evans and Sarah Logan, and Lucha Libre champion Princesa. I don't know how to say this word, so we're just going to say it. And if it comes out wrong, I apologize. Somebody correct me with the phonetics in the comments down below. And I apologize. Do not take offense to my whiteness as it comes out, because I am Spanish, but I don't speak it very well, and I only know a little bit, so I don't know how to say this next word. Her name is Princesa Suge Knight? I don't know. Anyway, we'll just call her Princesa, the Lucha Libre Women's Champion. That is your list for the first 4 officially announced competitors from WWE.com this past Friday. The announcement brings into focus the global scale of the 32-woman tournament coming this summer to the WWE Network. Let's highlight these ladies. This is all coming officially from WWE's website. We are going to look at Toni Storm. 21-year-old Toni Storm is the first reigning Progress Women's Champion in the United Kingdom. Already an 8-year veteran, Storm has carved out a reputation worldwide. Born in New Zealand, raised in Australia, and based in the UK, she wrestled in 13 countries before the age of 20. Jesus Christ. Capturing championships along the way. With an aesthetic flair that finds inspiration in 80s rock, plus a ring style that's equal parts technical and hard-hitting, Storm looks to impress on her biggest stage yet in the Mae Young Classic. The way they just made that sound, you'd think this one is an odds-on favorite to make it towards the end of the entire tournament. Like I say, I have no exposure to these women. They have been featured on NXT here and there, but when you're not introduced to them and you don't know who they are, you look at them in the jobber sense, and it's unfortunate that happens, but your wrestling brain is kind of trained to look at people that you don't know or are not on the at least mid-card level as a somewhat of a jobber, and I don't want to look at these other women that way at all, and this is going to be a great way to do just that. The next competitor, Lacey Evans of Paris Island, South Carolina, is a familiar face to the WWE Network subscribers. A newcomer inside the yellow ropes of NXT, Evans joined the WWE Performance Center in April 2016. Prior to pursuing sports entertainment, she served in the U.S. Marine Corps for 5 years, including time spent as a military police member of the Special Reactions Team, which is a Marine equivalent of the SWAT team. Nice. Nicknamed the Lady of NXT, Evans has said she hopes to use her platform in the WWE to show women all over the world, including her 4-year-old daughter, that there are no limits to what you can achieve. Up next, we have hailing from Louisville, Kentucky, Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan is proud to have been born in the woods and raised in the mud, as she puts it. Okay. Like Evans, Logan is an NXT competitor and a recruit at the Performance Center. She began her in-ring career on the U.S. independent scene in 2011 and quickly gained notoriety for her rough-and-tumble fights. She refined her skills in Japan under former WWE Light Heavyweight Champion Taka Michinoku before signing with the WWE in October 2016. Logan has also won Olympic powerlifting competitions and made her NXT TV debut earlier this year. Finally, on this list of 4, one of the most esteemed grapplers in Mexico, the masked Princesa Suge Knight. Take a look at this thing. You've never seen a happier butterfly than this in your life. What is this hot mess? Holy cow. She is the champion down in Mexico of the ladies. Look at it. What is that? Holy shit. I guarantee you she's going to be fucking fantastic. Guarantee you. Just from this picture we're looking at alone. Her charisma, everything. It's probably going to be off the charts. She's going to stand out the same way guys like Grandma Talik and others did in the Cruiserweight Classic. Let's hope she don't fade away as quickly when the tournament comes to an end. Let's see what they have to say about the Princesa. I'm not saying Princesa Suge hit until I know how to say it, so we'll just call her Princesa. The Princesa from Monterrey brings 20 years experience to the Mae Young Classic since turning professional in 1996. 1996? Jesus Christ, how old is this butterfly? My God. Princesa has earned countless accolades while competing in her home country's top organizations, CMLL and AAA. Not only that, but she has claimed the masks of numerous rivals over the years, which is considered the ultimate sign of triumph in Lucha Libre. She's also the current Mexican National Women's Champion. Holy Christ! I can't wait to see this thing. You guys, it's gonna be fucking great. Make sure you check out the Mae Young Classic. Because, also, the fifth name, coming just days later, Pro Wrestling Sheet broke the news. The WWE is in talks with a former employee to participate in the upcoming Mae Young Classic tournament, even though she's technically retired from the ring. Serena Deeb is in fact coming out of retirement with the WWE to compete in this summer's Mae Young Classic tournament. Serena Deeb wrestled in OVW from 2005 to 2009 and won their women's championship 6 times. Holy shit, I didn't know that. She was more famously known, however, for being part of the Straight Edge Society, which I fucking loved. Not just because it was CM Punk's gig, but because the whole concept behind it and the brainwashing and the stable aspect of it, it was fucking fantastic. It had a lot of leg room to run with. It just wasn't allowed to keep going. 2010 that was on SmackDown, the Straight Edge Society, a group that also featured CM Punk, Luke Gallows, current good brother of Carl Anderson, or as my wife would call them, the Bowling Balls, and we should just call them the Bowling Balls because that's what they're about worth on the Raw roster. You'd be better off with a couple of sets of bowling balls to roll around and knock some pins down, because it would be a lot more entertaining than watching Gallows and Anderson nowadays. He was fantastic in his role here as well, showing that he was not just a stupid, drooling idiot Festus, and that he definitely had the chops to go. And Joey Mercury, former M&M Tag Team Champion, Joey Mercury with Johnny Nitro. Great stable. I was very much into it. I loved it so much. Serena spent less than a year with the SES and only wrestled once on the show before her eventual release. She retired from the ring a few years later in 2015. Some fans that watched the Cruiserweight Classic have been wondering if the Mae Young Classic would have a Brian Kendrick-like redemption story told by any one of the competitors. If all goes to plan, Serena Deeb will be playing that angle. Don't forget, you guys, sound off in the comments below. Let me know what you're thinking about everything we've talked about so far, about the tournament, about Crazy Steve, about pro wrestling history. If you liked the cool little video thing we did, that's new, obviously. You guys know if you've been watching for a while. Let me know if you like that. And we are going to finish off today with a very, very quick rundown of Money in the Bank, because this show only has 5 matches on the main card, and I only really care about 2 of them. So we're going to burn through this. We're just going to do a quick preview and predictions on this pay-per-view special. I hate doing that because it's Money in the Bank and it's supposed to feel big, and I only care about the 2 Money in the Bank matches, so I'm pretty much just tuning in to watch 2 matches. The rest of it I could really care less about. So let's get through the review. I'm sorry, the preview very, very quickly here. In a pre-show match, Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley versus the Colognes. This is a throwaway match. It doesn't even deserve to be on a pre-show match of a pay-per-view. This should be the type of matches we are getting on SmackDown to try to further along both of these teams, try to create some exposure, try to get these teams over, but we don't do these things in the WWE anymore. We just throw them when we want to throw them, and us guys have just got to accept it. I could care less who wins this match. I guarantee you it's not going to be the Colognes. It's going to be Mojo and Zack Ryder. They're going to want to build their momentum and maybe make them a viable competitor to whoever comes out the winner of the WWE SmackDown Tag Team title match, which will be contested against the Usos versus the New Day. I'm interested in this match to a point. I could care less if it wasn't taking place. They at least are not giving us all 5 teams in some manner of a match. I expect the Usos to retain their title. If the WWE are stupid, they will just give it back to the New Day. I shouldn't say give it back, but they will give it to the New Day, and they will, I guess, be the first tag team to hold both titles from both shows. I don't know if that's necessary. I think the Usos' run right now is great. I think their music is great. The look is great. The Usos great. Their day one is definitely H all over the place. I love what the Usos have been bringing to the table lately. I love everything about what they've become as a heel tag team, and their cousin should take notes and apply the same pressure to what he's doing as what they've been doing, because it's working. And the Usos have been fucking great in this new evil version of themselves, and I want them to win. I want them to win, hold the titles, keep a good run intact, and make this go on and on. Make them fight the New Day a few times. Yeah, I would include Breezango in this whole thing. I think they've got the momentum. They should definitely at least be in contention. We'll see where they go from there. For the SmackDown Women's title, we have Naomi versus Lana. And the only fucking thing I care about in this match is I just want to see if Lana's got what it takes. Because everybody who's seen her says she can do this, and she can do this well. I will be the judge of that, and I will let you know what I think on the review. But I see no reason why Naomi doesn't win this match. If Lana wins this match, just for the shock value of it, and then you have possibly whoever wins Money in the Bank come out and just cash in on Tuesday. Or hell, if they do the Money in the Bank women's match to open the show, and then you have Lana beat Naomi in some kind of fluke, and then you have the Money in the Bank cash in right then and there, and then whoever wins that is your champion by the end of the night. We will discuss that right now, as the next match on the list is the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Naomi should win. That's my prediction. Naomi will win. But we are going to talk about this alternate reality, where if Lana wins this match and the Women's Money in the Bank match happens before the Women's SmackDown title match, I almost guarantee that that's what's going to happen. The Women's Money in the Bank ladder match will feature Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Carmella, Tamina, and Becky Lynch. There is the chance that there will be a 6th surprise entrant coming into this match. If there is, my bet says it will be Nikki Bella, because she probably wants to be part of this historic moment. If Nikki Bella comes in this thing, it throws a wrench in the whole thing, because she's Girl Cena, and she probably will be the first woman to win the Money in the Bank. Most people are favoring Charlotte. Everybody thinks Charlotte's going to win, so that's why I think they're going to pull the trigger on something different, and I'm very, very scared that they might allow James Ellsworthless to finally pay some dividends for Carmella and lead her to pulling down that Money in the Bank contract and really throwing a swerve to all of us and putting a wrench in everything. And then you could have Carmella cash in against Lana and lose, and Lana remains our champion, and we don't have a... That would be a terrible way to go about this. You have to have the inaugural Women's Money in the Bank winner win her fucking shot at the title. So that would be a terrible way to go about this. If they did it the other way around and Carmella finds a way to pin Lana and become the new SmackDown Women's Champion, you see my face right now? Like, it just feels disgusting to say. I don't want to say that. She is definitely not there. But I could definitely see them doing that just to piss us off. Because you guys know they do like to do that from time to time. Clearly, the odds-on favorite is for Charlotte to come out and be the first ever winner of the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. As far as the men go, I hate the booking of this match. I hate the competitors in this match, with the exception of AJ Styles and Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin. I do not like Dolph Ziggler being in this match. How many times are we going to see him in this match? I don't care. If he wins this match, it's terrible. Dolph Ziggler with the Money in the Bank briefcase, again, I don't want to see that. Especially not over a guy like Sami or Baron Corbin, who I would much rather have a new, fresh face hold that briefcase. AJ Styles, always in the running for me. You could put him in any match, it doesn't matter. He could wrestle a broomstick, it's fine. But, as far as Shinsuke Nakamura and Kevin Owens, here's two guys that should not be in this match. Kevin Owens should be defending his United States Championship. Possibly against Shinsuke Nakamura, that would have been a great match. And then you could have had Shinsuke Nakamura get the win by count out or disqualification. Maybe Kevin Owens walks off on the match because he knows he can't win. And then you build off that. And you go through the summer having Shinsuke chase Kevin for the championship. You've already ruined Shinsuke Nakamura. They've already overexposed him to the moon and back. He should have had much more of a special element to him. But no, they gotta show him on every episode of SmackDown. We gotta have him come out and do the whole entrance and the whole everything, and now the mystique of it is all gone. But the talent still remains, and Shinsuke Nakamura is fucking fantastic. And sure, it's great that he's in this match, but this is like maybe next year's. He should be in it. It's just too soon to sacrifice him in this match. I don't think he's going to win this match. And if he does, I think that's terrible booking as well. Unless you find a way to get him to AJ Styles by WrestleMania or by SummerSlam even. We could have Styles versus Nakamura for the championship. But that would mean AJ'd have to be the champion. It looks like Cena might be the champion coming 4th of July, in which case you could have Shinsuke win the contract and have Cena versus Nakamura at SummerSlam. That is slightly intriguing. That might be where they're going with the whole thing. If you gave it up to me, AJ Styles is going to win the Money in the Bank. That's who I would pick. But I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think they just might give it to Shinsuke Nakamura. Even though they shouldn't. It's not his time. He needs some more time to flourish, time to get some matches under his belt. Let him get a good feud, a good rivalry going. I know that he's well deserved of the spot to be a Money in the Bank contract briefcase winner. I just think it's a little too soon, and he's being a little rushed, and it's being overexposed, and I fear for what that's going to do for the immediate future of Shinsuke. Finally, in a title match nobody gives a shit about, Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton. If Jinder Mahal wins, nobody cares. If Randy Orton wins, nobody cares. Good guy champion Randy Orton is boring as fuck. Jinder Mahal, no matter what he does, is boring as fuck. I've been trying to give the guy a chance, but his promos have become stale and boring and just absolutely useless. I'm done with the Jinder Mahal experiment. And if the only person on the other end of the ring is Randy Orton, I'd rather there be no fucking champion at all. I'd rather somebody strip Jinder of the title and let's put it on the microphone stand. Give it to the Raw GM fucking computer. Let him hold it until we decide what to do with it, because what they're doing with it now is tarnishing everything the WWE Championship is all about. It's not about who it's on. It's about what they're doing with it. And they're giving Jinder Mahal the ball, and he's fumbling it. He didn't drop it just yet, but he's been fumbling it, and it's just become can't watch TV. And especially with Randy on the other end, I really just don't care. And if it ends up leading to John Cena coming in and taking the title away, I just don't care. This whole thing is just an epic failure. Who the hell wants to see John Cena as a champion again? He's going to be gone all these months. He's going to come back on one night and take the belt away from a floundering Jinder Mahal. To do what? To wrestle Shinsuke at SummerSlam? The only acceptable scenario. Everything else is second best and garbage. And nobody likes garbage. Except for flies. And I'm not a fucking fly, last time I checked. Are you? You gotta stop buzzing around this fucking garbage all the time. And start giving us some good fucking TV. Money in the Bank, pay-per-view, both Money in the Bank matches should be fantastic. As far as match quality, I'm a little bit scared for the girls. I don't want them to overdo it. Which is why maybe they'll put them on first, so they don't have any pressure to follow anything. Let them set the bar for the night comfortably. We'll see where it goes from there. That's going to do it for today's episode, you guys. Thank you all so much, as always, for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is Blue the Snowball Microphone. We are here always for you, bringing you the wrestling news. You know, before I sign off, let me just say this has been a rough week for me as far as work and everything. And I'm very, very tired tonight. And if I came off that way, I apologize. You know, but you know, my energy is here, and I am here for you no matter what time of night, no matter how I feel. I'm going to be here as long as this fucking equipment holds up, because it's been giving me shit too. The show was actually supposed to be up yesterday, but my computer decides that it wants to update and do things that I don't fucking want it to do. At times I don't want to do it, and then I have to go and reshoot the whole show, just like I had to do for this one. And I want to thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to smash that like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel. If you're already a subscriber, thank you. If not, hit that button right now. Once again, I'm Nick Nightmare. Have a good night, everybody, and I am out of here. Thank you for watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, and we'll see you next time.